Hi guys, this is Raghav here from Headphone Zone. Today we're doing a video to deep dive into a brand of headphones and IEMs that I've come to discover. I'm talking about Final Audio from Japan, or as they're known these days simply as Final. It's one of those brands that really caught me by surprise, and I've fallen in love with their sound, their design, their build, and the brand itself has become one of my favorites, and I wanted to make a video today talking all about them. Alright, so today we're going to be looking at 10 different IEMs from the Final lineup, starting with 1,500 rupees going all the way to 1.5 lakhs. Final Audio products are created not to just be authentic, to give you a sound that feels lifelike and believable, but they've all been tuned with such amount of nuance and detail that while all of them feel very accurate sounding earphones, there is still a little bit of differences in sound signature, which I'm going to talk about in today's video. To start with, we have the entry-level earphone from the Final lineup, the Final E500. This is a phenomenal earphone for the price. I really like the way it's been designed, it's been built. The earpieces themselves are bullet shaped, which is something that you see in common with all the Final Audio E series. It has a 6.4mm driver unit inside, which is pretty compact for the size, so you typically will find that the E series is very well suited for people who have small ears. The E500 does not come with detachable cables, does not come with a microphone. It does one thing and one thing only, which is that it sounds very good. It has a warm and a little bit of a smooth sound signature. You'll find that the treble is kind of rolled off, so if you're someone who wants to listen to music for long hours together, the E500 is very well suited for that. The bass is right there, punchy, well rounded, but at the same time the entire sound signature is very well balanced. Alright, coming up next is one of my favorite earphones from the Final Audio lineup, the Final E1000. It's less than 2,000 rupees, comes in two variants, the E1000 without a mic and the E1000C, which has an inline microphone. So you can use this along with your smartphone or your laptop to pick up and drop calls, or use this for games if that's something that you're into. It's very similar to the E500 in many ways. It's got a plastic housing, the 6.4mm driver unit, but you'll find that the sound is a little different from the E500. This is a very well balanced earphone, so there's a little bit more definition, a little bit more tautness in the treble, so everything feels a little bit more sparkly, and this we call the signature Final Audio sparkle. You'll find that this is a sound that will be common to a lot of Final Audio products, where we really like the high end, the treble. It sounds so beautiful and clean, really helping you imagine the micro details in the music right in front of you. Next up, for 2,700 rupees, you have the Final E2000. Again, comes with two variants, with mic, without mic. The E2000C comes with the inline microphone. Now, what I really like about the E2000 is that they've really improved the build quality on this, where instead of the plastic housing, you still have the Final Audio bullet shape, but now in an aluminium material. It's a much better made material. It feels really nice and durable, but still very lightweight. Sound wise, very similar to the E1000 with one notable difference. If you see the back of these earphones, they're perforated and open, and therefore the sound travels very freely in and out, almost like an open back headphone. So the imaging and the sound stage feels a lot more natural than the Final E1000. This is the Final E3000. Priced at 3,700 rupees. For me, this is almost the perfect IEM for beginner audiophiles. Couple of things. The build quality is stepped up even more. These earphones are made out of stainless steel, so they're very durable, very well built, and the look absolutely stunning. They have the same open feel like the E2000 does, but the sound signature is dramatically different now. This has a V-shaped sound signature, so a lot of treble extension, a lot of bass emphasis, and it goes really nice and deep. So if you're someone who likes a clean, open, balanced sound, but you still want the bass to sound full, punchy, fun, that's the E3000 for you. All right, so now we get to some of the high-end earphones from the Final E series. This is the Final E4000, a lovely IEM priced just under 11,000 rupees, and it looks absolutely stunning, made out of aluminium, a matte black finish, same bullet shaped size, so perfect for compact ears. But in addition to all of this, you now get detachable cables on the E4000. This also has a very wide open sound stage, which is what all these earphones are really loved for, but the E4000 has a huge step up. Everything feels a lot more airy, a lot more detailed, a lot more natural, and the sound stage feels like it's from a little bit of an arm's length distance rather than from the middle of your head. Now the E4000 has a very well balanced sound signature. It's very neutral. You'll find that the low end is existing, it's nice and punchy, but the highs are nice and airy. So if you're looking for a neutral, smooth, balanced sound signature at this price point, the E4000 might just be the perfect earphone for you. The Final E5000. This is an absolute stunning earphone, priced at 22,999. They're not inexpensive, but they're certainly worth the money. A beautiful stainless steel finish on these earphones. They're a real looker. Detachable cables, but the cables are now made from a very high quality silver cable. They sound and look both very premium and very fancy. Sound wise, this is probably my favorite sounding E-series earphone, where just like the E3000, you have a V-shaped sound signature, which is to say that there's a little bit of treble extension, a little bit of bass extension, but still very cohesive, very smooth. And it's incredible how well Final Audio has tuned this earphone to give you a fun, energetic, open sound signature, but one that's still very cohesive and balanced across all frequencies. Just like all the Final E-series earphones, very wide open sound stage, and this is probably the widest and most open of the lot. One of the other IEMs that I got to experience very recently from the Final Audio lineup is the Final VR3000. Now the VR3000 is initially designed for gamers, and keeping the needs of gamers in mind, they created an IEM that one sits very flush in your ear. It goes over your ear and then in. It's perfect for people who want to maybe lie down with earphones on or wear a helmet and they want to use that on the go. Gamers like to be able to visualize where the music and the sounds are coming from around them, especially when in the middle of the game. So the sound stage feels like it's coming from quite some distance away, and at the same time the imaging is absolutely precise and accurate, where you can almost visualize all the elements around your head. Certainly at this price point, 5,999, I highly recommend the VR3000, both for people who are using it for games, virtual reality, anything like that, or for people who just like an out-of-head music listening experience. Alright, now we come to the A series from Final Audio. Now this is very different from the E series that we've been looking at thus far, and the shape and the design of the earphones is probably the biggest difference. Just like the VR3000, the A3000 kind of comes over your ear and then goes in. The earphones don't stick out at all, and the noise isolation is absolutely fantastic. It blocks out outside sound perfectly. Now Final Audio has a slightly different driver design for the A series, the A3000 and its big brother, the A4000. The A3000 and 4000 use the new F-Core DU driver design from Final Audio. It's a slightly more lightweight but more sensitive, detailed, articulate driver, and they've used brass as their material of choice to coat these drivers to give it its unique sound. The A3000, priced at 8,500 rupees, very neutral, very balanced sound. The A4000, almost identical to the A3000, but comes in a navy blue look, same design though, and it has a more mid-forward, treble-forward sound signature, so it has more of that signature Final sparkle that we keep talking about. Both the 3000 and 4000, very clean, very articulate, very nice wide open sound stage, clean, punchy bass, but very neutral and very easy to listen to for long hours together. The A4000 I feel is a little bit more forward, a little bit brighter, and some may even find it a little bit too sibilant for their liking. But it has what we like about Final Audio in abundance. A lot of people compare this to the flagship A8000, which is about 10 times the price. And I think between the A3000 and 4000, both of them are beautiful earphones. But if you want a slightly more balanced sound without too much emphasis on the top end, the A3000 is for you. And if you really want a very clean but forward mid-range and treble, then the A4000 is for you. Last earphone from the Final Audio lineup, but certainly not the least, the flagship A8000 IEMs. They're priced at 1.5 lakh rupees, but oh my god, these earphones are an absolute stunner. They're made out of this beautiful stainless steel housing that's been polished into a perfect mirror finish. There's certainly a looker, and I haven't seen too many top of the line IEMs that look this beautiful. They certainly feel very heavy in your hand, but put them on your ear and all the weight seems to disappear. It's made to be such a phenomenally well-made fit that you almost can't tell that the earphones are there. For me, the key thing that makes these earphones stand apart from everyone else is the beryllium drivers that Final Audio is using on these earphones. It's a dynamic driver, single dynamic driver, but the beryllium material of choice is very interesting because it gives these earphones such a lot of micro detail, such a lot of definition, such a wide open sound signature, and yes, it's got tons of that signature Final Audio sparkle in the sound. The first time I heard these earphones, they felt a little bright to me, almost unlike anything I've ever heard right now, and I couldn't believe the sound. But with roughly about 40 to 50 hours of burn-in, the bass really opened up, and now the bass sounds defined, full, right there, but such a beautifully coherent, cohesive, well-balanced sound signature I don't think I've heard from any of the other top of the line earphones at this price point. So many brands go out of their way to put 10, 12, 15 drivers per side, but Final Audio has just one driver, and the big advantage that gives you, that the music sounds beautifully cohesive and balanced at all frequencies. Many times I put these earphones on and the sound stage is something that's so hard to describe. You have to almost experience these to understand what I'm talking about. Let's say the music has a little bit of children's shouting or like birds chirping. I had to almost turn my head from left to right to try and see where the hell did that sound come from, because the imaging and the soundstage is just so expansive on these earphones, and with all those micro details that you can hear on these beryllium drivers, it helps you visualize the concert literally right in front of you, with each instrument perfectly positioned for you to visualize. With that, we've reviewed 10 different earphones from the Final Audio lineup. Everything from the Final E500 from 1,500 rupees to the A8000 for 1.5 lakhs. I'm hoping that this video has helped you kind of identify and understand that what's the perfect earphone for you to pick out from the Final Audio lineup. I invite you to come over to our listening studio right here in Mumbai to listen to the entire Final Audio lineup, or come by to a Headphone Connect event that's happening near you.